Hi, everybody. This is Ken Wilson. Once upon a time, I broadcast blues hockey. I always listen to Let's Go Blues Radio. It's everything you'll want as a blues fan. Oh, baby.
Are you a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues Radio listener? Of course you are. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call real estate superstar Mike Burgoyne today at 314-753-4060 or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com to earn special rates today.
Cut out the coffee, cut out those energy drinks that make you crash, and put yourself in a position to succeed with an energy boost from RockinThatIDLife.com. You'll be energized, focused, and you'll even experience an elevated mood for up to 6 hours. Check out RockinThatIDLife.com to learn more.
Get ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
The Blues score! Oh, baby! The Blues score! McKinnon shoots and scores! Portnoy ahead to Hall. He's got a breakaway. Safety shoots. He scores!
Oh, baby, do you believe this?
Scores in a drive. He scores!
Baby, Chris Pronger! Wow, what great goaltending! The Twister, Jacob hits the hit, sellout crowd. Oh, baby.
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Welcome to episode 20 of season 14. This is episode number 501 all time of the often imitated, never duplicated. Oh, shit. Look at that door, dude. See that door there? The one marked pirate? You think a pirate lives in there? We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Check out the Let's Go Blues Minute wherever you get podcasts. It provides you with a daily look into the St. Louis Blues in a quick hit fashion. Smash that subscribe button. It's Thursday, February 13th, and we're streaming live to the masses. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook. I'm your host, Jeff Ponder. I will be joined by Kurt Price very shortly. Bill Day will not be with us tonight as he is facing allegations. The agenda for tonight includes a look into the Team USA and Team Finland matchup coming up, the Canada and Sweden game, some Blues news, and more on this patriotic episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. So you can see I am ready for the big game tonight as USA takes on Finland here in just probably about a half hour, maybe hour. I don't know. Let's see what the pregame is like. I know yesterday with Canada and Sweden, they kicked off at about 7:25. So I don't know if it'll be about the same. They probably won't do the same exact ceremony. I would hope not. So we will see. But still, very exciting. As I don't know if anybody watched the Four Nations face-off game opener yesterday, but I did, and I thought it was excellent hockey. This is the 2016 World Cup. I was not a fan of. I thought the whole world team, the North America team, I just thought it was hokey. It just didn't work for me. You know, there's guys that are representing the world. Like, you're really going to have national pride for that? So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting take. I didn't like it, but this is awesome. I'm enjoying this Four Nations face-off. I'd loved it if there would be a Team Russia in there. Obviously, I know why there's not, but yeah, it'd be great to see like a Buchnevich out there, an Ovechkin out there competing in something like this. But for obvious reasons, that is not the case here. Plus, 4 teams, it just works. Who would be your 6th team? Slovakia, I guess, maybe. I don't know if you can fill a roster of NHL players with Slovakia. But either way, very exciting. I'm enjoying this as it's gone on, and we will be kicking off here, USA and Finland in Montreal in a little bit. So one thing that I did want to mention at the top of the show, if you watched our 500th episode last week, we did unveil the new white jersey that Let's Go Blues Radio will be having. So if you are interested in getting a new white Let's Go Blues Radio jersey, please reach out to the show in any way that you can. As we are on socials, you can email us. radio@letsgoblues.com. Any way you want to get in touch with us, and we will. I think Kurt and I are both trying to fix things here.
You read. I'll do this.
Yes, sorry. But yeah, so if you're interested in that new white jersey, which I'll introduce Kurt here in a minute so I can pull it up for those who maybe have not seen it. But let's welcome Kurt into the show. Hello, Mr. Price. How are you?
Did you miss me?
I missed you so much.
Gone for about 3-4 minutes there.
And you are flipped, by the way, your camera.
Yeah, I'll fix it. That's a stupid thing.
But you're not freezing, so that's great news.
If somebody would explain to me why the default is to mirror a camera so everyone sees the text and everything reversed, explain that to me. Why that's the preferred default. That's stupid.
I've never understood that myself because that happens to me in Teams all the time.
You see people posting pictures online, selfies and stuff, and they're all backwards. And it's like, what are you doing?
See if I can. I don't think that's going to work.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to show the jersey in that manner, but that's not going to happen. So let me get rid of that.
Just share your screen.
Yep, I just need to do that. So that means I got to pull it up. Anyway, well, did you watch the game last night? What'd you think?
I did. And I did want to say Canada, obviously, they had the better to play this game. But I will say that the way that the commentators and broadcasters were saying that, Canada was just unbelievably dominating. I'm like, I didn't see that. I saw Canada outplay Sweden. Yes. Canada had the better players. Yes. But by the end of the game, regulation, Sweden had outshot Canada. I think it was like Canada had dominated play in the first period mostly, but they had only outshot them like 4-0 or 5-0 at one point. So it was, I don't know. I thought Sweden played pretty well, considering, and nice comeback in the third period for them. I don't think they quite got the credit they deserved from the broadcast team. I think they were like gushing a lot over Canada. So yeah, they did say before the game. Did you see the pregame about? They talked about the ratings of the teams going into it, and USA was heavily favored in this tournament. And then second, and Canada and Sweden were neck and neck, separated by like 1 rating point. And they're doing all that based on individual players, like advanced stats, and then they just rate them, and then they just say, I tell you, it bugs me to no end. How everyone is just like all in on advanced stats, telling everybody how they should feel about players and teams and things. I get it. They're fun to talk about. We talk about them a lot, but man, when they act like it's the end all be all, and that's the way it is, it's like, no, it's not really.
Doesn't it make you almost want to root for Finland?
Not today.
Right? Because like Finland's
overall,
probably
yes.
the lowest rated, I would imagine.
Finland's not even close. I think they had Finland rated in I think it was like the 40s, and USA was like in the 80s, and then Canada and Sweden were like in the 70s.
Well, I could see the only issue with Finland is that they're decimated by injuries on defense. So I could see why they're ranked so low, but yeah, it's again, you're right.
No, I'm not saying the rankings are wrong, but
right.
The way they presented it, is like, this is how it is, and here's the rankings.
What's going to happen?
How did you come up with these numbered rankings for these teams? And
Right.
they hinted that it was based on individual player rankings and cumulative stuff based on advanced stats. And I'm like, where are you getting this information from? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, like, where? I don't know.
Yep. My apologies if you can hear my son in the background. I am on dad duty right now, so he is in the basement with me.
We're great dads, we are,
aren't we? Yeah, we're giving him so much attention right now. But yeah, he's on the other side of my computer here, watching his iPad. So I apologize if and he's quite the boisterous boy. But yeah, so real quick here, I mentioned the Let's Go Blues Radio jerseys there. So that's the new white one that we will be ordering here soon. We're making our first order. We got a couple people at the live show that signed up for it. But if you would like to be one of those people who gets one of these jerseys, I'm still not exactly sure on price. I need to figure that out. But I believe it's $40, maybe $50. But as soon as I get that figured out, I will. It's going to be in that range. I will also share that on social media. But if you are interested, please reach out to any of us on social media, as well as radio at letsgoblues.com, and we will be glad to hook you up with one of these sick white jerseys. All right. You want to get our overlay back? Thank you, sir. Okay. Official beers of episode number 501. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. I am at jponder94. Kurt's at cprice12. Bill is at Billy Blue Note 33. I will lead us off. I've got a one that I've had on here many times. It's a great winter beer. It is the Schlafly White Lager. Just a nice, good beer to be drinking during a hockey game. So one of my favorites. Kurt, what are you sipping on tonight?
I've just got a double-walled insulated thermos. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And it is full of refreshing ice water.
Nice. Very nice.
But it's not so much the drink, it's the vessel. I'm a hound for quality double-walled vessels for beverages.
Okay, I was going to say double-walled vessels. Is that including like submarines?
I like those too. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're fine.
Submarines are fine. Yeah, but that's me. I've got probably about 15 different thermoses upstairs, and they each have their own purpose in life.
I'm drinking out of a nice cup here as well.
Yeah, that's a cool guy must have got you that cup.
A really cool guy, yeah, dude who has been doing a blues podcast for 14 years.
Did you call that a cup?
Did
you call it a cup?
I did call it a cup, didn't I? Glass.
Yeah, it's glass.
It is a glass.
Yeah. Cups. I mean, and maybe the general public does not share my stance on this, but cups are plastic and glasses are glass.
I actually agree with you. I'm with you on that, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, we've got kind of I don't want to say an abbreviated show. This is about how long our show should probably be, but
right.
We want to make sure to close up before the U.S. game starts. So let's get right into it. So we got some Blues news that we're going to lead off with. We'll go to break, and then we will discuss Four Nations face-off, some more Blues news, and hopefully that'll lead us right into the game. The big news out of the Blues this week, Zach Bolduc was assigned to the Springfield Thunderbirds.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, he's been terrible.
Terrible.
President of Hockey Operations, General Manager Doug Armstrong announced it on Sunday. So for those of you, there's always going to be people that don't know. And the people that don't know, I'm okay with it. You know, why they did it. I'm okay with it. You know, if you're like, why would they do this? Well, let me explain it to you. But the people that go on social media are like, this team doesn't know what they're doing. Oh my God, man. Like that drives me freaking crazy. Because it's like, okay, you're uneducated. The reason they did it is not because it's like a punishment to Bolduc. It's because he's one of the few guys that are on the roster right now they can send down to the AHL without having to clear waivers, and they wanted to get him some playing time during this 2-week break in the NHL.
Really? Is that? I mean, that's okay.
That's all it is. So, and hey, maybe the Thunderbirds are even going to be like, hey, we're not going to play you all 4 games over break. We're going to play you 3. Either way, that's still more motivation for Bolduc to get some skating time to play. And then when they come back next Saturday, he'll be in game shape. He'll be ready. So if the Blues could do this with their entire roster, I think they would. So, anyway, so they've got 4 games during this break.
That's a good way to piss off the entire roster, though, because a lot of them are going on vacation.
Oh,
I agree. They're going to Barbados.
Well, and piss off the rest of the AHL, too. Like, oh, great, we got to play against all these NHL guys, huh?
Well, you know, I bet you some of them would. I mean, some of them would like it. Some of them wouldn't be taking their jobs, but you know, some of them are probably like, "Oh, cool, I get to play with so and so."
Yeah, I'm sure Ryan Suter would absolutely love to go down to the AHL at age 40.
Yeah, right.
So they played last night in Grand Rapids. They got 3 more games coming up. One tonight. Actually, I think they might have already started against Milwaukee. They play again Saturday in Rockford, and then on Wednesday they play the Hartford Wolfpack. They have already played that game last night. They won 4-1. Bolduc actually did get an assist on Hugh McGean's second goal of the night. It was late in the third period, and it was an empty net goal, but nice to see Bolduc clearly out there in a big game situation. So obviously with the NHL experience, you get why he was out there. But yeah, nice to see Bolduc get on the board.
They don't call him Big Game Bolduc for nothing.
That's right.
That's why when they acquired him, I was like, you know what, this guy's got a long tenure ahead of himself in the NHL.
He's going to play in at least, I believe you said 1,400 games.
At
right?
least, yeah. He's going to be a Hall of Famer in terms of games played, at least, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's clearly what Kurt said.
That's exactly what I said.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will get into some more talk again with the Four Nations and then some Blues stuff that's happened in the past week. You are listening to Kurt and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio. Don't touch that dial.
USA.
We will be right back.
USA.
We'll return after these messages.
As a hockey player, Mike Burgoyne knows a thing or two about making the perfect play. And when it comes to real estate, he's always ready to score the winning goal for his clients. If you're a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues radio listener looking to score the home of your dreams, you'll receive special rates with Mike. Go ahead, shoot some questions his way, and he'll have the answer quicker than Curtis Joseph on a breakaway.
Curtis Joseph got the paddle down.
Any barriers? Mike will mow them down like Chris Pronger in front of the net. He'll score you your dream home or sell your existing home faster than a Brett Hall one-timer.
Look past the hole. He shoots. He scores.
See Burgoyne's real estate prowess in action today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or by calling 314-753-4060. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com, and that phone number is 314-753-4060. Getting Mike Burgoyne on your team will be the boost your power play needs.
Hey guys, it's Jeff. You know, the fun, energetic host of Let's Go Blues Radio. I know I give off a natural energy and cheerful glow, but as I've gotten older, I've realized I need a kick in the pants to get going. I've tried it all, from forcing myself to drink coffee to picking up an energy drink every morning, but none of it provided true, sustainable energy without crash. Luckily, my friend Dustin at RockinThatIDLife.com told me about their product, Energy, which provides exactly what I need. The first thing I do every morning is fill up my shaker bottle with water and a small energy packet, and within minutes of drinking it, my day truly begins. I feel motivated to get going on my work and feel the mental focus take effect as I dive into what I'm doing. I don't crash, and I feel like $1,000,000 throughout the day. Reach out to Dustin today to experience how much better your professional life can be. Email him at rockinThatIDLife@gmail.com and get $10 off your first order. That's rockinThatIDLife.com, and that email again is rockinThatIDLife@gmail.com. Don't let a lack of energy keep you from being who you want to be.
Yes, and as you can see, there are a lot of different ways to stamp out thirst with refreshing Stag beer. Now, one of the most popular is this handy six-pack. People like the six-pack because it saves space in the refrigerator, lets them keep more good, cold Stag beer on hand. And you know, when you've got Stag on hand, you've got a mess.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Well, coming out of break, we're going to talk about the U.S. and Finland game coming up here in a little bit. If you are watching us live and are also watching ESPN right now, they are showing the pregame warm-ups. I watched the game last night. It was exciting to see these two teams on the ice. I'll admit, I thought going into this game that it was going to be in Boston, but I think what they're doing is they're playing what's that?
It finishes in Boston.
Yeah, so it's like 3 games in Montreal, then 3 or 4 games in Boston. So
yeah, and Finland has to play Canada in Canada and the U.S. in the United States. Or no, it's Sweden.
Sweden.
Maybe
Sweden will
has
have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got it rough.
Yep, that sucks. Sweden played a hell of a game last night, though. We'll get to that in a minute. So let's talk about U.S. and Finland. So in goal, it's a big Central Division matchup. Now that I think about it, every game so far is going to be a Central Division matchup for goalies. Because it was Binnington versus Gustafsson last night from Minnesota. Yeah. And then tonight it's Hellebuck versus UC Saros. So that's interesting that all the goalies are coming out of the Central Division so far.
Yeah.
Finland coming into this game, they've got a ton of injuries. So their top defenseman would have been Miro Heiskanen, and then they've also got Rasmus Ristolainen and Jani Hakanpää, all injured. They've been replaced by guys that you may have never heard of. Urho Veikavainen.
Good luck. Good luck with this.
Yeah, Veikavainen, I believe is how you say his name. Henri Jokiharju and Nicholas Matinpalo. Yeah, those are guys that are names.
Naga work here any longer.
Right. So again, we talked about the rankings you saw last night. Prolific offense from the US. The Finnish side is going to really, I think, struggle with this US team because they've got quite the offense.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at, just the Kachucks alone being on the same team are going to be fun to watch for USA, right? I mean, this is the first time in, I think this is it was said that the first time they've been on the same team together.
Like the only other time was the 2023 All-Star game.
Right, but that was that wasn't
doesn't count.
That's not competitively. This is So where the stakes are high. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I know they're amped up, and Matthew Tkachuk said some things about how it's the intensity level is going to be high, and he's going to bring it.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be the USA is stacked. So
yeah, this might be, and I'm speaking it out of turn here, but this might be the best US team we've ever seen assembled.
Yeah. That's what they were saying last night on TV too, and I was thinking about it when they said it. I'm like, yeah, maybe they're probably right. And
they've got everything.
Yeah, and that's not hard to say in the modern era when, generally speaking, players are better, than they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's just the athleticism of players gets better and better as time goes on. Now, I guess Canada, it's hard to say that because they had some teams back in the 80s and early 90s where they had
even
Gretzky,
the early 2000s.
Oh, I mean they were just stacked with like all-time greats, right? So yeah, I think I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think Canada winning in overtime last night only gives them 2 points because it's a very short tournament, right? They're playing 3 games and then
the championship.
In the championship. So, Canada only getting 2 games against Sweden, that opens the door. Basically, USA, they can control their own destiny, right? If they win their 3 games, Canada can't catch them, especially because Canada and USA play head-to-head yet. But so yeah, that's only 2 points. So if you win a regulation, you get 3 points. Overtime win 2 points. Overtime loss 1 point.
Yep.
So
yeah, this U.S. roster is just ridiculous. I mean, you got Austin Matthews, one of the best pure goal scorers in the NHL right now. The defense is loaded as well. And then you've got, a guy like Zach Werenski is having a ridiculous season in the NHL, best hockey he's ever played. And then in goal, you've got Connor Hellebuck, who is just absolutely ridiculous. Having a great season again. And then behind him, you got a guy like Jake Ottinger, who, I mean, to me is again one of the best goalies. The U.S. goaltending for the next 10 years, so good. It's ridiculous.
We're talking about goaltending. Team Canada. A lot of people were, how Bennington is received in the media, right? So when he was named their starter, people are flipping out. The goaltending's terrible. And now, granted, numbers wise, the Canada's goaltending doesn't look good on paper this season. But they were talking about Bennington before the game about how he's a gamer, he's a big game goalie, yada yada, and we've seen it in St. Louis. We've seen that out of him. But even as good as Bennington can be in net, you can't. I mean, if he's he needs to be at his best for Canada to have a shot at winning this tournament, I think, because it's gonna come down to goaltending for them, I think, and against this potent U.S. offense. I mean, You got Trocheck, Kachuk, Nelson, Miller, Matthews, which you mentioned, Dylan Larkin, Kreider, Jack Hughes, Jack Gensel, Jack Eichel, Kyle Connor. It's just, just stacked, up and down the lineup.
And then on defense, you've got guys that can move the puck. Brock Faber, Charlie McAvoy, Adam Fox, Zach Werenski, Jacob Slavin, Noah Hannafin. I mean, these are all great puck-living defensemen who are also very good defensively in their own zone.
Defensively for Canada, Blues representative Colton Parayko, I thought he played really well last night.
Oh, yeah.
He played a great game.
His points so 0 points, but he had 3 shots, 3 blocks, and then 1 noticeable hit in the first period. 22:58 of ice time. Probably played more than they originally thought because Shea Theodore went down with an injury. But, I thought Parayko looked good, and I thought the defense overall for Canada looked good. Basically, I think if Canada is going to win this over the U.S., and that's not even mentioning how good Sweden is, if Canada is going to win this, their offense is going to have to be even more potent than it was last night. Their defense, I think, is going to have to carry the mail more. And like you said, Binnington is going to have to play his best hockey. Like we saw, it's going to have to be Game 7, 2019 Binnington.
I didn't think Canada's offense last night was that potent. I mean, they had zone time, and at times they looked unbelievably quick and dynamic. But as far as like funneling pucks to the net and getting them on net, they didn't have a ton of it. I mean, Canada needs to do a better job of actually getting pucks on net, because I mean, if they were outplaying Sweden, and it was like 3/4 of the way through the first period, they had 5 shots on goal. It was like, that wasn't, for as much as they were, controlling play, they didn't funnel that puck to the net and get it on net near enough. It was I don't know. I think the gotcha game for USA is going to be against Sweden. I think USA should win tonight in a walk. I think they're going to be up easily for Canada. There's no question. But they're going to play Canada Game 2. Let's say USA wins Game 2 against Canada. Then they play Sweden. That could be a letdown game against Sweden. Sweden's good.
Yep.
And if USA, craps the bet against Sweden, that might cost them first. Oh, we'll see.
I don't know. I think no matter what, it's going to be I think it's going to come down to winning 2 games. I think if you win 2 games, you're in, no matter what. And I think for right now, yes, I know Canada, they won in overtime, which only gave them 2 points, but I think they've got their 1 win. I think the U.S., if they win tonight, and I think if they beat Canada, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, it doesn't matter what you do against Sweden.
Right.
But I think, yes, I see your point, though, that could be a game where it's like
a letdown
they're
game.
Not, they got up for Canada. Now they got to get up for Sweden.
Who is just as good, but the hype is not there with Sweden. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, it's Canada, U.S. You're going to get up for that game no matter what. I think
in the U.S., so that's going to make it even crazier.
Yeah, I mean, and we can talk about what if scenarios, like what if USA loses to Canada, then Sweden's in trouble. I think USA is going to destroy Sweden in that last game.
I think so too.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. The last night's game was so much fun to watch, so quick, especially McDavid and
Crosby.
McDavid, Crosby, and oh god, am I drawing a blank? McKinnon, yeah. And McKinnon was catching some crap today from folks online about being a puck hog in overtime and trying to be a one-man show. I thought that while I was watching him, but you know what? They were giving him those shots.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's MVP, right? Reigning. So he's got a. I mean, I don't blame him for taking those shots, and they were good chances too. So.
Yep.
But
Mitch Marner scores in overtime. I loved that play by Crosby. He skated into the zone and drew all 3 guys to him because nobody else was there. And then he was smart enough to drop it back into the neutral zone to Mitch Marner. He goes for a line change, and Marner just zooms in and scores. I'm not a Sidney Crosby fan, I'm not going to lie, but like 3 assists in that game. It's a stat that blew me away. Canada's won 26 consecutive games in international competition when Crosby's in the lineup. That's ridiculous. I mean, granted, like you said, Canada's always been a powerhouse, But 26 consecutive wins.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
Matt in the chat says, Benner getting a lot of shit. I think USA is going to win regardless, but the Parayko haters are pissing me off, fellas. People are hating on Parayko? I mean, now?
Yes.
After last night's game? What for?
Yes.
Why? He played well.
They said that him and Doughty were very, very weak. And I disagree.
Parayko was weak last night? I thought he was good.
I thought Doughty looked a little out of place, but I don't even think Doughty looked that bad. I think he was the worst defenseman of the 6 or of the 5, I guess.
Whatever.
But Parayko, I thought was fine. He was skating the puck fine. He was fine positionally. Yeah, I didn't understand that. I think there's just a lot of Blues hate still. I really do.
Well, yeah, I expected it with Bennington. I didn't expect it. I thought Parayko played. I thought he moved well.
Dude.
I thought he played well. I thought he moved the puck well. He had a couple of very nice passes in the offensive zone, setting up some people. Didn't result in anything, but still, it was. I mean, I thought he played. I liked the way he played. Again, I don't know.
Too.
I don't know.
I did too. 3
I'd
blocks.
like to have
a, that's solid.
Do what?
He had 3 blocks on the night. I thought that was good. Like, he was getting in lanes. He was taking out passing lanes. And yeah, I'm going to agree with Matt Harris here.
I agree too.
Yeah. Yeah, he had Benner had 1 weak goal against. Yeah, it's funny that you call that a weak goal. It was a weak goal. But when you really think about it, it is a beautiful shot from the slot. You know, I mean, 20 years ago, we're probably like, yeah, it's a good goal. But like with what we've seen from Binnington and then how goaltending is nowadays, I think that was an easy goal.
I'll say this though about it. He made up for it after that.
Yes.
He was.
Yes, he did.
The one that they tied the game on wasn't his fault. He slides across and they chip it over him. That was a tying goal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, the tying goal was ridiculous.
And that was such a beautiful touch on that shot. But in overtime, 2 miraculous game-saving saves. Without Binnington in overtime, Canada loses that game.
Oh yeah, and 4 saves overall in overtime. Any one of those go in, obviously game's over. So yeah, I thought 2 big saves, one right before Marner scored.
Yep.
And yeah, I thought he played well. And he got and again, it's the Binnington hate. The amount of Canadians who are pissed that he gave up that first goal. I thought he was screened. And then if you watch the replay today, somebody pointed this out late last night when I saw it. That might have been tipped. I think that first goal was tipped. I didn't see it at first, but now that I watch it, I think there was a tip on that from a Canadian defenseman. So yeah, that you get tipped that close in front. And man, I'll say, I was listening to the radio. I had a game myself last night, so I had to listen to some of the game on the radio. And I listened when Binnington gave up the second goal. Before he even gave up that goal, Anthony Stewart on the NHL radio broadcast was ripping Binnington. He was like,
really?
Oh, that first goal, he can't give that one up. He's got to have it. Oh, wow. Binnington looks shaky. He is very shaky. And I'm like, are you watching? Like, I watched the first half of the game and then watched the second half when I got home. And I'm like, he looked fine.
Who said
outside of that second, Anthony Stewart. He was the guy that was doing, he was the color commentator on the radio. And I just didn't understand that. I'm like, okay, clearly this dude has a problem with Jordan Binnington because he's not seeing the same game I am.
Commentator for radio in the US or Canada or
NHL radio.
Okay. Now, I don't know where his loyalties lay, but Canadian fans are notoriously hard on anyone not named Gretzky or Lemieux in international play.
Crosby.
If you give up a goal, it could be an amazing goal by amazing effort by the other team, unstoppable. You're going to get shit on. They are. What's the word I'm looking for? Not ridiculous, but I don't know. It's ridiculous takes. I think more often than not all the time, but man, they're on you for every little tiny thing. And it's kind of like Toronto fans, they say the pressure in Toronto to win is just unreal and it ruins players. That's kind of the thing in Canada. I mean, they don't realize what they're doing to their teams and their players when they
Yeah,
just there's so much pressure they put on them, and then I mean, but granted, Canada has won what 26, 27 in a row now.
well, you
internationally,
mentioned the fact that he made more than made up for it in overtime.
Oh yeah,
he made up for it in the third period. I thought he played really well in the third too, and
but he gave
them
up 2
plenty
goals,
of
Jeff. They had
chances.
a 2-goal lead.
Exactly, I know, but I thought he played really well, kept them in it. I don't want to say I was fully impressed with Binnington and thought, oh, he was elite, but he definitely played well enough to win. And that third goal they gave up, that was not on him at
No.
all. You can
The-
make the case for
The
the
one
second
goal was
goal.
The one goal was
somebody
stopped.
here said, who was it?
It was stoppable.
Oh, that's not the one I wanted to find. Jeff Miller over on YouTube says Bitter did fine. The weak goal was a greater shot than people admit, considering how high it came between the legs. Yeah, I actually do agree. Again, I do think it was a weak goal, but it was a good shot. And the guy, he had plenty of room. The defense didn't attack him. And I thought Kempe he made the right shot and made the right play.
That was Doughty, right?
Expect Binnington. It might have been
on defense, yeah. They did call him out on the broadcast. They said that he didn't close that gap. It was Pang.
Yeah,
Pang said he didn't close that gap like he should have, and he let him get that shot off, and he let him skate in a couple more strides than he needed to. And then it beat Benner under the arm. So I mean,
yeah. And then the third goal, absolutely not Benner. And then I thought first goal too, not on Benner.
No, I don't think so.
I thought there was a screen, and again, I see it now, and I'm like, I think that was tipped, even on slow motion. I think it was. So yeah, I thought when the game got big, Benner got bigger, basically. They tied up, and I thought even in the third, before they tied it up, he played great. And then in overtime, he was ridiculous. So yes, I will agree with you. Binnington and Parayko, I was very impressed with their games last night.
I thought Canada played really well overall. I think Sweden's a good team.
A damn good team.
I think people maybe were expecting Canada to dominate Sweden, and they outplayed them overall last night. But the score didn't reflect that. The shots on goal didn't reflect that either. But you could just tell that Canada was a more talented team. But as that game went on, and especially in the third period, I don't know if Canada was playing scared or what, but all of a sudden Sweden just they just came at him in waves, and Canada, I don't know, they scored 2 goals, came out from 2 down and tie it, and I felt that third tying goal coming from Sweden. It's one of those things where when you watch a game, you can tell something's coming, and it does. And I felt that third goal was going to come from Sweden.
Yeah. Yep. They were definitely coming in waves, and they're just such a smooth passing team. They always have been. Sweden's always been like Canada's a dominating big team that can also play finesse, but Sweden, I don't know though. I don't know if it's the way they're coached when they're growing up, but they are just so smooth. Everybody can skate like the wind.
It's the 3 crowns. They
what
respect and worship the 3 crowns, so they play for the country.
No, it's just beautiful the way they can move the puck. And like I said, that fourth goal, I want to make fun of the Canadian defense because they did allow a couple cross passes. But I mean, again, this is the best on the best. So, without being able to just mow guys down in front of the net, you're going to see goals like that throughout this tournament. And Sweden, so far to me, now granted, the Canada first goal on the power play, that was pretty with the backhand pass. But to me,
I want to comment
on that. Sweden tying goal was the most beautiful goal we've seen.
I agree with you, but I want to comment on that first goal. That first goal, I'm sorry. It was lucky. It looked beautiful, but when you slow it down and look at it, Crosby's no look backhand through the top of the crease pass. Defenseman went down to block it, and he slid down, and it just happened to go in a little triangle between his skate and his knee or something on the ice. It was just like Crosby wasn't aiming there. It was just he turned around, whipped it, and it happened to find a hole through a defenseman. Which you can say you create your own luck, whatever. But on the replay, I'm like, man, that was just kind of. They were fortunate it wasn't blocked because the play was red, but the puck got through, and it is what it is.
So I will say I did see somebody make a comparison today to the second goal that Binnington gave up to the overtime goal scored by Marner. Were those similar? like similar goals? Because if they were, I think they were somewhat similar.
Yeah, but the
But
Bennington
have
goal
we
went.
heard anyone say that Gustafsson should have made that save?
Well, the Bennington goal went through him, and
Yeah.
the Gustafsson save went by him. It didn't.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, right? When a goal beats you under the arm, whatever hole that is, 8, I don't know, but if it beats him under the arm, under the blocker, that's considered a soft goal. It just kind of comes with the territory with goaltending, generally speaking, of course. Obviously, every goal is a little different, but that's what you're going to get in international competition. In a big game for Canada, a goal beats you from that spot on the ice under the arm. It's going to be considered kind of soft, and I agree. I was kind of soft. I think it was kind of soft. Now the goal that beat Gustafsson was around him. It wasn't through him. So I think that's a difference there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, it looks like we've got about 15 minutes until this game starts, or at least till the ceremonies and all that start. So let's go ahead and get into some Blues talk to close up the show. Ryan Suter reached his 1,500th NHL games in the NHL. Only 21 players in NHL history have reached that milestone. Suter became just the 7th defenseman and 3rd American-born player in history to reach it, joining Matt Cullen and Chris Chelios. Chelios played in over 1,600, and Cullen has just played in 1,516 games. So if Suter plays out the rest of the season, he will pass Matt Cullen on that list. Last Thursday, Suter matched another U.S.-born hockey legend, Detroit Red Wings great Mike Modano, at 1,499 games.
Can't wait until Bolduc reaches 1,500 games played.
Yes.
That's
I will say, do you know why Mike Modano finished his career at 1,499?
Yes. Oh, I do. He was benched by what's his name?
Columbus Blue Jackets legend.
Shit.
Mike Babcock.
Mike Babcock. I couldn't. I was thinking Hitchcock. Not Hitchcock. It's the other cock.
This guy literally is a fucking cock too.
Yeah. He benched him, and he didn't
benched him in his last NHL game just because he wanted to fucking pull a power move.
Well, Babcock screwed over Chelios too. I mean, not that I feel bad for Chelios. He is a prick, but in the outdoor game, right? He didn't play him.
Yep.
Just set him on the bench. Well, with his kids in the stands and everything. Didn't play him at all. And his kids came down and wanted to know why he wasn't playing, and he actually got a beer on the bench and was drinking it on the bench.
He did. Yep.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's what I would have done too.
And then Babcock wanted to put him in like with 5 minutes to go, and Chelios told him, no thanks. I'm not going.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Well, the Blues made a big roster move today. They acquired forward Corey Andonovski in a trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for forward Matthias Lafayette. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Andonovski will report to the Blues AHL affiliate, the Springfield Thunderbirds. He is 25. He's dressed in 27 games for the AHL's Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins this season, posting 3 goals and 2 assists and 15 penalty minutes. Overall, the Ontario native has totaled 54 points and 182 penalty minutes and 157 career AHL regular season games. Obviously, a very minor move here.
No.
No?
Give us the cup now.
Yeah,
don't you hate those comments when you see them online?
I was going to bring that up.
Really?
So, oh my God. So they post this, and it's not like, now I'll say, if the Blues were to be like, everybody pay attention, in an hour, we're going to have a big announcement, and then they announce this. Okay, yes. Then all those comments would be warranted. But all the Blues did on their social media channels, Blues have made a trade. They've sent Lafayette for Andonovski. Like, very minor, just a post, no press conference, nothing like that. And people posting, oh, let's bring in the cup. Oh, we got to get rid of Armstrong. What's he doing?
Yeah.
Bring in Steen. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's a minor trade. Teams do this throughout the season all the time. It's not like they're like making a big deal about this. It's just a roster move. Why do we have to act like if it's not a big trade, why even report it?
The people who say give us the cup now or put the Stanley Cup, gif in the. I mean, you're not funny. You're not original. You're a lemming. You think you're being funny, as like you just wasted your time and everyone else's. Stop.
Yep. Yeah. I was not. I just get annoyed with that, but I wanted to call it out on the show because it is a roster move.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yep. Yeah. So good. We're on the same page there. That is so annoying.
Fraud
Shut
protection.
the fuck up, people. All right. 2 games this week. I guess within the past week, Florida did defeat the Blues 3-2. The Blues also beat the Blackhawks 6-5 in a 10-round shootout, which I think we should get into a little bit. But first, that Florida game, my God, what a fucking heartbreaker. The guy we have to root for tonight, Matthew Tkachuk, scored the go-ahead goal with 12 seconds on the clock, and it was his second goal of the game, third point. He has 28 points in 20 games against the Blues.
Tkachuk is such a polarizing figure for Blues fans, or me. For me, I like to think for Blues fans when I say this, because you really want to root for the guy, local, hometown guy, great player. We wanted him to come here when he was going to be traded out of Calgary, and I would love to have an off-the-record conversation with Doug Armstrong about exactly, what happened and how could he have had him
if he really wanted him. That's what I want to ask.
What was your offer, and did you really want him here?
Yeah.
Did you try hard to get him here? Because at the time I was like, you do it. And I think the thinking was, don't give up Kyrou, right? Don't give up Kyrou. But I was thinking, give up Kyrou. Give up Kyrou.
I still stand by the fact, even though we all thought Kyrou was going to turn, well, we didn't all think it, but the consensus was that Kyrou might turn into a 100-point player at the time of the trade. I still think Calgary would have looked at the offer they got from Florida and said, that's the better offer.
Probably. But I mean, you could always try to spice it up with whatever, but
I just don't think the Blues had the talent to match what. No, looking back, Huberdeau was a 100-point player. Mackenzie Weegar was a ridiculous pickup as well. I just don't think the Blues had the talent to match what Calgary thought they were getting.
Knowing what you know now, both sides, would you have traded Thomas and Kyrou for Tkachuk at the time?
I think the whole point you get Tkachuk is so you can pair him with Thomas.
That was the thing, right? That was the thinking, because they're buddies, they're friends, they grew up together, right? They lived together for a while with Keith Tkachuk. So, yeah, I mean, that's tough because you wanted. That was the thing. That was the conversation. Give them both. Wow, but you want to bring him here to work to play with.
Well, I'm with you that I would have definitely done it for Kyrou.
Yeah, me too.
If Kyrou was the centerpiece of the Blue side of the trade, I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah,
Thomas, that makes me say I had to look at the whole deal to understand.
You're probably looking at what Kyrou, Parayko. I don't know, and a number 1 pick, it had to be a hefty thing, but it didn't happen. But it's like I said, back to what I said before, the polarizing figure. You want to root for the guy, but you want to hate him at the same time because he kills us. And in this game, of course, he scores the fucking game-winning goal and costs the Blues a point.
And you saw that fucking goal coming too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. And you're like, and I just hold on for 12 more seconds.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, oh man, if we can just get a point out of this game, that's what this team needs. And I'll say, I said this on Blue Sky at the time. I think that was the dagger for the Blues, that game. I think that was such a letdown. If they would have come back and won that game, we'd even gotten a point, I don't think it would have been a big deal. But, oh man, I think losing that game, that was the one that made me say, this is one they will point to and say, if we just would have gotten that game to overtime, we would have had a better chance.
There's a lot of games you can point to, but this one being later in the season, closer to the time where the Blues have to make a decision what they're going to do. Yeah, that one stings quite a bit.
So we've got Jeff Miller in the chat says, hell no, not both. Talking about Kyrou and Thomas in the trade. But still, they need an elite scorer, not another Sod or Barbie. Yeah, I agree. They do need a scorer.
Oh, man. With
Again, it's
Barbashev.
like, what are you, it's again, what are you, you're trading your
I'll take another
setup.
Barbashev.
You're trading your setup man for the elite scorer that Kachuk is. What's the better? Probably Kachuk. But if you're losing Thomas and Kyrou, another guy that could put pucks in the net, I don't know.
Well,
I'd have to see the full trade.
Look who's playing in the tournament right now, and look who's not.
I will say, Robert Thomas should be on Team Canada.
Probably.
Give me him over Thomas Konechny all day.
Yeah. I agree. But Kachuk he's more elite than Thomas is. I don't think you can argue that. It's not even close.
I agree with that.
It's not even close, actually.
I agree with that.
He just does it in more ways. Thomas is a much better passer, but Kachuk, I mean, I wouldn't even argue that Kachuk's shot is better than Thomas's. Thomas has a fantastic shot, but Kachuk is just a bull out there. You can't stop him.
All right, we are almost at game time, so let's really quick get to the Chicago game. Blues beat the Blackhawks 6-5 in a 10-round shootout. Radek Faksa had the shootout winner. It was Faksa's first shootout goal in 3 attempts. Robert Thomas, Matthew Joseph, and Philip Broberg each had a goal and an assist. Blues had 3 goals in the second. There was 5 total goals in the third period. But the story of this game, I thought, listen, I hate the shootout. I do.
I love the shootout.
But when they go, to me, a good shootout is long and goalies are making saves as well as there's goals. And that's what this shootout was. It was 2-1 in terms of goals, and the goalies both looked great. Soderblom and Binnington, I thought, really kept their teams in it throughout this, clearly, because they made the saves. But just some really awesome goaltending. It went 10 rounds. That, to me, is a successful shootout. That's what I want to see. And that's why I think the shootout needs to be 5 shooters instead of 3.
I was just going to say that.
You're going to do it.
I've always thought it should be 5 shooters. Always. 3 is too quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's too quick and one and done. 14 straight saves in the shootout there were.
Yep.
Very stressful. Very stressful coming off that loss to Florida, and it's against the Hawks. It's even though the Hawks are crap and the Blues are looking like not a playoff team this year, it's still the Blackhawks. You still want to beat them, right? And this was a stressful shootout. This was the most stressful shootout I've watched in quite a while. Just because of you wanted this game. You wanted this game bad going into the break. You didn't want to sit on a loss and overtime and a shootout to the Hawks over the fucking 2 weeks.
And then again after the heartbreak against Florida too.
Right.
To accompany those and go into the break, what would they be at that point? 2-2 in the last 4 games. I mean, you can't have that. No. That's ridiculous.
And to the Hawks of all teams, right? You don't want to sit on that, stew on that for 2 weeks. No thanks.
Yep. So, no, a nice game, a nice win. Yes, I mean, I thought Binnington was okay in this game, but again, in the shootout, when it really mattered, he played very well, and that Teravainen goal was sick. But he made some great saves, and then Fox's move, beautiful way to end it. And then Braden Shen, Jesus Christ, dude, Braden Shen, say what you want about Shen and his speed and his game. Overtime and shootout, that dude is absolute money.
Yep. I love how he's rebounded this season compared to last. He had a rough last season, and he has proven he's too old, he's done. He's proven those people wrong.
Yep. Next up for the Blues. Well, not really for the Blues, but if you're interested in NHL hockey, 4 Nations face-off, Thursday tonight, the Blues are playing Finland, coming up here in just a couple minutes. They're singing, USA is playing Finland. Man, I would love to see a Blues versus an international team.
Yeah, they'd have to play Kazakhstan or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be like maybe
Jamaica.
Slovakia.
Jamaica. Play Jamaica.
Play Jamaica. There you go. USA and Finland plays just a couple minutes from now. They're doing the national anthem at this moment. There are no games tomorrow, Saturday. February 15th. Both teams all four teams will be in action. Finland and Sweden will play at noon on ABC. And then U.S. and Canada, 7 o'clock. That is a must-see game on ABC.
Prime time.
Again, no games on Sunday. And then on Monday, Canada and Finland will play at noon on TNT. And then U.S. and Sweden will play at 7 o'clock on TNT. So that is all coming up.
Let's not
fun stuff.
No bones about it. The elephant in the room is USA versus Canada, Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Yep.
So that's Katie bar the door. That's going to be arguably one of the most anticipated games in 10 years.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely. Well, the game is getting started, folks, so we will wrap up. Just real quick, wanted to say thank you again to the Geyer Inn for hosting us last week. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to all of our guests that came out, and congrats again to our friend Adam Gold, who I've not reached out to yet, for winning that beautiful Let's Go Blues Radio jersey. Again, signups for that. If you're interested in getting one, please reach out to us. Social media, obviously, you can reach us there, or radio@letsgoblues.com.
Adam Gold needs to check in with us about getting the PWHL to sponsor LTB Radio.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the way to this.
That's what we need.
Let's see. Jeff Miller in the chat real quick. Sorry to say this is better than the All-Star game, but Colton in the hardest shot contest is missed. I think every year, if you can do something like this, I'm all for it. Why not throw in a fucking competition, actual all-star competition with just hardest shot, stick handling, accuracy, do the good ones, and that's it. Have it one night for an hour.
Have each team have their own individual skills competition, and then the top shooter, the top hardest shots and all this crap, then go on to the skills competition in the All-Star game, whether you're in the All-Star game or not.
Yep.
That way you get that away. Then you'd see some hard shots. Then you'd see the fast skaters and stuff like that. You don't get the best of the best now. But anyway, game starting.
Yep. All right. Kurt, anything else to add?
Nope. Let's go let's go Blues. Let's go USA.
Let's go USA. Yep. So we will close up the show. We'll be back next week. Thanks to our amazing sponsors, StrikeWithMike.com and RockinThatIDLife.com. That wraps up episode 14 of season 20 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening. Thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the show. We'll talk with you next week. For Bill Day and Kurt Price, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, USA, USA, USA.
You're going to lose to a bunch of Finns? I don't think so.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at four.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend.